What's up, guys?
All right, guys, just a reminder, raise your digital hand for questions, and we'll start things off with an opening statement from Jeff.
Yeah, had a great day of practice today. Guys are excited. Another great opportunity. Another really good football team. Coach Fuente's done a really nice job. I know he's had to manage the COVID, and I give him a lot of respect and credit. He's had a bunch of guys sit out of games, and he's managed to win two and play a really good North Carolina team, fight back at the end, and have a chance to win it. I know it's been hard for him, and I hope all of his players are healthy and everybody's safe over there. Him and Coach Cornelson, obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, do a really good job. I think it starts really with their offensive line. They're huge. I think every one of them is over 300 pounds, and they're really long. They have two really good backs. I believe both of them were transfers, 21 and 6. 21 to me is a pro back. He's a special player, breaks a lot of tackles, has speed, returns. So really talented. I believe they score 43 points a game, run for 300 yards a game, which those are like video game stats. I don't know if I've ever coached against a team that ran for 300 yards a game before. So certainly they've done a great job. Quarterback, obviously they play with a bunch, 2, 3, and 4. Looks like 2 will play against us. I think he won 6 games last year when he came in, and obviously he drove them back. I think they had 300 yards of offense in the second half last week. So really good job, but we got to be alert for all of them. They're good players. They're tough players. They run the ball. They throw the ball. And then 11 and 83 on the outside, dangerous receivers. And maybe one guy who's not talked about enough is their tight end, number 82. He might be the best tight end we've seen all year. Looks like another NFL player. Long, fast, blocks well, dangerous on the outside. He gives them the ability to, line him up as a wideout and play inside a tight end. So ton of respect for their offense, for their coaches. Obviously, I can speak more about their offense because I spend more time watching them early in the week, as I've told you guys, but a lot of respect for them. Coach Hamilton on defense, he's done a good job. It's Virginia Tech. They've played good defense throughout the years, and he's continuing to do that. They have 2 good defensive ends. Their linebackers seem to be the heart and soul of their defense. I know they've rotated a bunch of players and been hurt in secondary. I credit them for doing such a good job piecing it all together. They fight and they scrap, and they play a good scheme. They play a lot of middle close defense. So they load up the box, and I also believe I think they're like 4th in the country in sacks. So they got guys who can get after the quarterback. And then on special teams, Coach Shebest, to me, they're the most well-coached special teams unit that we've played thus far, and their kicker is special now. I mean, I know the kid last week hit that one from about 70. But this kid's got a big time leg. They play really hard in all phases. So again, we're excited to go out there. I've never been there before, and there'll be fans there for the first time in my coaching career. I'll get to coach with some fans there. So that'll be a little bit different for me. But our guys are focused. We have to get better. I'm still going to make this about us. But a ton of respect for Virginia Tech, their staff, and I'm excited to play the game.
Start things off with Rich.
Conversely, good morning. Conversely, looking at their rushing offense and then looking at yours, it's quite a contrast. Do you just feel that you can't rely on the pass game? You're going to have to get the run game going, and you're probably due for a weather game one of these weeks too.
Rich, I'm confident in both. I mean, yeah, you look at them, they're rushing for 300 and we're throwing for 380. So, it's hard to do both. So I think you're going to see, you guys are going to see the run come out. Just be patient, stay positive, and I'm very positive and confident in our own line and the ability to run the football. But I'm also very confident in us throwing the ball down the field. So we're going to do both, and I look forward to everybody seeing that.
We'll go to Kevin.
Hey, Coach. 4 weeks in now, 4 games in now. In terms of just pregame and day of game, do you feel like you have pretty much your routine down and your rhythm down, or the weird start times still kind of mess with that?
Yeah, I'm trying, Kevin, and I think I'm getting better at it. I try to loosen up with the same guy and throw the ball around a little bit. I know now when I talk to the refs before the game, I know what time that's going to be. It's still weird for me not coaching a position in pregame, so I don't know. I usually have a ball in my hand and try to keep myself busy, and then I throw the ball to the DBs and wideouts. I'm getting the hang of it, but we haven't had a game at the same time yet. So it's just, you know, I probably still got to get better at it, Kevin. I'm working on it, man.
Go next to Dan.
Dan, you blew it. He's on mute, guys. Rich, can you please help him?
We've already instituted fines, Jeff.
I mean, this is
To
unbelievable.
mute, you get fined now.
I mean, I can't believe it. Emma, you got it. What are we doing, Dan? Dan, we still can't hear you, buddy.
Yeah, Dan, we're gonna go next to Julian instead. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
All right.
It was the computer. It was not the mute button.
Hey, Rich, do we ever make excuses around here?
Gonna get fined, coach.
What do you got, Dan?
You mentioned the quarterbacks, the fact that they've played all of them. Is there an element of it that you have to prepare for more than one at this point, or is it when they announce a starter and it looks like one guy's going to start that you have to prepare for one over the other?
We just prepare our defense, Dan, and what they do schematically. They both can run the football. They both can throw it. So it's not like we're going and playing a guy who sits back in the pocket like a statue, and then the other guy comes in and he runs all over the place. They're both very athletic. They both play with juice. So we're just going to prepare our scheme against what they do and do the best we can.
We'll go to Julian.
What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Julian, how you doing?
Live and kicking. I was just curious, just logistically, right? Like, is there anything? I know we talked a little bit yesterday about how long ago the Duke trip feels like, which to me it doesn't. But logistically, is there anything that you guys can take from just having done it? You know what I mean? And like making things go smoothly, or guys being used to the idea of kind of traveling under these circumstances and sort of the tested and the whatever other sort of wrinkles come into going on the road. And
yeah, it's different, Julian, but we're not going to make a big deal out of it. We look back at the Duke game, and after we took a lot of notes on what we would do, time wise, hotel wise. So, it's really our first time all together. That was our first time all together in an away game. And this will only be our second. So we'll keep working it every week to try to tweak it exactly how we like it. But, we'll get our guys prepared this week, get them on the plane, get them to the hotel, and just kind of hang out, enjoy each other, and continue to prepare for the game and do the best we can. But, it is different. I mean, you can't eat on the plane, and you got your mask on, and there's some little things that go into it, but it is what it is. Our guys will push through.
We'll go to Emma.
Hey, Coach. So talking specifically about Zay, so he had a big game against Duke, and then 2 sort of weeks of lull where he didn't get much action, and then obviously a huge game this Saturday. How do you make sure that he keeps his momentum up from this week going into next week instead of getting one of those lulls that he had before?
Sure. I mean, that happens, right? Whether you're wide out, a quarterback, or running back. I mean, you can't go in every single game thinking you're going to get 180. You do the best you can, and you prepare like you need to. And that's the same message to him. The great ones I've been around, they have a mindset and practice that they go out and they get better every single day. And, if you do that, like Zay's a really good player. And if he has that mindset, he'll become a special player. So he has to continue, just like everything we talk about, right? I mean, to me, it's every day I have to get better. I have to. And so does Zay. And I think if we all have that attitude, we'll continue to take small steps and be a better team and a better football player.
We'll go to Andy.
Jeff, back-to-back weeks, you've played 2 of the best passing offenses in the ACC. Now you're going up against a team that has a great rushing attack that's pretty versatile with a lot of guys that can run the ball. Is it hard defensively to have to pivot from one way to the other in terms of polar opposites, passing, rushing, what to defend against?
I don't think so, Andy, because if you looked at North Carolina, I mean, I think North Carolina is one of the most dynamic running teams in the country. I mean, with their O-line and their 2 backs. So trust me when I tell you, I mean, we worked all week on stopping the run, and then, Pitt the same thing. I didn't think they were going to throw the ball 50 whatever times it was. So our defense, the number one thing we talk about every week is stopping the run, because if we can't stop the run, we have no chance. So we'll continue to do so. And it is, I think it's one of the best rushing attacks in college football. I mean, 300 yards a game. I mean, that's crazy, So we gotta prepare, and strap our shoulder pads on a little bit tighter and go to work.
We'll go back to Rich.
Hey, Coach, just the way Hunter Long can turn a 6-yard reception into an 18-yard gain, and even in many cases with Zay on Saturday, there were yards after the catch that were almost as long as the throw. Just how much of that element do you work on, and is that a tribute to Djokovic for being able to hit them on the run?
Yeah, I think it's the timing and rhythm of the pass game, right? You catch the ball while guys running, he goes and punctures and gets vertical. And our mindset is to score. And if it's running through a guy, if it's breaking a tackle, if it's getting 3 or 4 extra yards. And I know Coach Shimko and Coach Daly coach it hard, and it has to be who we are. It's not just good enough to catch the ball. It's go catch the ball and score and get us more yards.
We'll go next to Bill.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the year so far. And seems like you got a lot of excitement over there on the Heights. Question about Zay. When I saw you came in the middle of December, so you were probably inside most of what you were doing. Can you remember the first wow moment with Zay where you said, whoa, because, production-wise, decent freshman year, looked like he was going to be a player. But for you, when did you say, okay, we might have something really good here?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I appreciate being on. It was the first time we were in a one-on-one drill, and obviously I was helping coach the corners, and I was right up in there, and I saw him release off the line and accelerate and then drop his hips and catch a comeback. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's got a live body. Just the way he's twitched up and can move laterally, but at the same time accelerate, and how quickly he gained ground and then how quickly he shut it down. That's when I was like, this kid is a receiver, and this kid has a chance to be special.
We'll go next to AJ.
Hey, Coach. CJ Lewis, he missed most of last year with an injury and has come along quite a bit this year. What have you seen in terms of growth out of him?
Say the part at the end there.
CJ Lewis, talk about the growth you've seen in him from the beginning of the year to now. He's become quite a wide receiver for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. I think it's his confidence and it's the way he practices. He's a big kid who can go up and catch the ball. And if you watch him closely, and I think I mentioned this before, the most impressive part is the way he blocks down the field and gets after people. He plays with a ton of energy, and he's probably grown as much as any player we have. And I think he'll continue to get better. Big kid, strong kid, plays really, really hard, and that's how he practices. So if he continues to do that, he's got a chance to develop into a really nice receiver.
Go back to Andy.
Jeff, I know you've been working through how to cut down on penalties, something you've talked about for a couple of weeks now. And I know you said during games you don't get on guys about certain mistakes. So how during the week can you go about reducing those penalties in game?
Well, I get on them during the game for penalties, foolish penalties. I mean, I don't get if a guy has 2 PIs, look, I've been around DBs my whole life. You get in those funks sometimes, and the flags go the other way, and you just got to fight through it and keep your confidence. The ones I'm not okay with are the mental ones where we jump off sides on a 4th and 8, or we jump off sides on a 3rd and 1. We constantly talk about them, and we show them it on tape, and we show them examples of other teams doing it on tape. And then we put them in positions where we give them the hard count. And if they jump, we take them out, and we continue to work it. And I think what you'll see is as our team gets more confident and more comfortable within everything we're doing, I think those will disappear. But no time to panic about it. But yeah, there's certain things. I'm not going to get on a guy if a guy, makes a mistake physically on the field. But if a guy doesn't do his job and stay on sides and isn't locked in and has a foolish penalty, that's not okay.
We'll go to Trevor.
Hey, Jeff, this is kind of an unusual question, so feel free to answer it however you like. But I'm just curious if you could rank your games just 1 through 4 so far in terms of overall how you've played. I mean, we see results. We see a 31-30. Obviously, it looks better than 26-22 in terms of the win. But just do you feel like you guys are growing from 1 to 4, or is it kind of all over the place?
I think we've grown each week, yeah. Now, I don't think we've, not necessarily played our best last week, like I certainly told you. But we have some moments where we're getting better. I still think we just need to put together a complete game in all 3 phases. And I think we will. So hard to rank them, man. I'd have to really sit down and think about it. I'm just looking forward to the next one and trying to prepare them for that. And I think the biggest thing with us is we do try to learn from our mistakes and we admit our mistakes. And I certainly admit mine. And I'm just trying to get myself better and making sure the team goes forward.
Go back to Bill.
I think, Bill, I think you're on mute.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Back on Zay for a second. There's one thing about production and consistency, and that's obviously he's still a kid, still growing, and I'm sure that's expected. But the one thing we have seen is the explosive plays. Can you talk about the importance of explosive plays at this level?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, to me, it's everything that I preach about as a defensive coach is we have to eliminate explosives. Explosives change a game. If you can make somebody drive the length of the field in short increments time and time again, you're probably going to play pretty good defense, right? Because they're going to make mistakes and it's hard. If you have the ability on offense to strike fast and create explosives like that, it changes how you think on defense. So if people want to constantly bring people up in the box to stop us running the ball, then we have to be able to throw it over their head. And that's what Zay and some of our other guys give us the ability to do. And eventually you'll see that will allow us to run the ball more effectively. And then once we do that, then we got a team right where we want them.
We'll go to Dan.
Coach, I know, you mentioned at the end of the game or on Sunday even that you wanted that you would have been nice to have fans there, would have been great in the fourth quarter, things along that nature. From a cultural standpoint, I know you set out that you wanted to inject energy. There has clearly been that. From your perspective, as the season goes on, how important is it to keep the energy levels high, even if there are no fans, even from a cultural standpoint, but at the same time, not letting it get to the point where you get lost in the energy, the excitement, everything, the increased attention as more and more seems to start coming back to Boston College?
Yeah, and Dan, I said that because I walk around campus right now and students, they'll be yelling and congratulate me and congratulating us, and it's sad that the kids and the students can't come and watch our games right now because they all have been excited. It's exciting, and for them not be able to walk down to the stadium. I know it is what it is right now, right? 2020 is hard and COVID's hard and we have to be safe. I just wish that they had the opportunity. And as far as the energy goes, we're going to have energy regardless. And I'm going to have energy no matter what. I'm not going to change due to circumstance. We're going to do the best we can. I'm going to have energy. The team's going to have energy. And I'm hoping that the students in the city and all the community, that they have energy too. And, there's going to be some ups and downs, but we're going to get this thing rolling, and it will be hard and it will be a process, like I've said, but I want their energy regardless, and I'm going to bring mine regardless.
If I can throw one other one in there on top of that, as the season goes on with the schedule, as it gets tougher, as the season, just as everything kind of grinds forward, what is your perspective after you've been through 4 games that you look at the schedule ahead and you still see some of the contests that are coming up? Well, I know who we play next week, Dan, just because the schedule came out yesterday of what time we're playing. I couldn't even tell you who we're playing after that. That's where my head is, and that's how we approach this thing right now. So what do we do? We've played 4 games, and we got to push through. Our guys are banged up and they're starting to be tired, and now's the time to push, and now's the time to take care of the little things, and now's the time to get better, because now's where you'll see teams will go in 2 different ways. They won't continue to get better, or they will. So we need to continue to get better every single week, and that's all we can think about.
Great. That's going to wrap things up with Jeff today. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Dan,
Thank
get
you.
that mute button
You too.
buddy.
Hey,
Disaster over here with that.
hey, Billy.